Okay, so the third short video is on Islam. Islam is the third Abrahamic faith. It comes right from the Bible also. Here's what we got. Let's do a little bit of review. The Abrahamic faith. The ethos of each faith is the same, or are the same. I haven't decided. All have the same powerful God who is the creator. Despite age-old conflicts between them, all three are different routes to God and are remarkably alike. All demand similar standards of behavior. To each, although for different reasons, Jerusalem is a sacred city. Now, if we could just get everybody to figure that out, we'd be in great shape. But they won't do it. Okay, so the first is Adam. This is what, especially what Muslims believe. There were 7 prophets. They believed Adam was the first, Abraham, or Abraham, what they call him, is the second, Ishmael was the third, Moses was the fourth, David was the fifth, Isa or Jesus was the sixth, and Muhammad is the seventh. So they do acknowledge Abraham, Adam, even Jesus as being a prophet, but they believe Muhammad is the 7th prophet and the last prophet. Christians, Muslims. Interesting, right? Muslim world population. Then you can see, and there are different sectarian differences in Muslims, just like everyone else, just like Christians. The word Islam means submission to God's will. It's an Arabic term. Al means the. Like most languages have, I can't really call these articles, but English doesn't. Like if in French, it's le cat. Okay, so this is the. This has an article that goes with the word. So Allah means the God. His name is not Allah. He is the God. Muhammad is the last of the prophets, and he is not a God. Born in 570 in Mecca, he was, his mom died when he was born, I think, or shortly after that. I think his dad had died too, so he was raised by his uncle. And in his teens, he married a woman who was much older than he was, and he helped run her camel business. And he didn't have any sons with her. I think she was too old to have children. I don't remember. But Muhammad established a new social order, replacing the Arabs' old decentralized tribal one. He took charge of his community's temporal as well as his spiritual affairs. After Muhammad's death, the caliphs, Arab word for successor, united religious and political leadership in one ruler. See, the other 2 religions don't have that. Okay. The caliphs, or theocratic successors, were appointed by his followers. The first 4 ruled until 661. They assumed political and religious authority. They established the Muslim empire. The high point was the night to the 14th century, developed their religious and artistic traditions. They studied Greek, Syrian, and Hindu knowledge. Their outstanding achievements I don't know why that line's in there, and I keep forgetting to fix it. They made numerous contributions in mathematics, medicine, optics, chemistry, geography, philosophy, and astronomy. Because during this time, we're like in 600. Middle Ages are full blast in the Christian world, and the Christian world would not let you study things like that, especially medicine. If you were sick and you lived, God forgave you. If you were sick and you died, you were a sinner. They wouldn't let people study and get ahead, so the Muslim world could, and they did. And I was just thinking of something, and I can't remember what it was. It was back here. It was about Muhammad. Oh, so Muhammad, kind of like Abraham, what he did is he goes up to meditate on a mountain in the night in the desert because it's cool in the desert. And he kind of goes in a trance himself, and he's thinking, and he kind of says things, and they're not really in his own voice or in his own words. And his people just start writing it down. And Gabriel, the angel Gabriel, is there. Maybe he's the one, I can't remember. Is he the one giving him the words? I don't remember. But Gabriel's so interesting because Gabriel is an angel, and he is in all 3 of these faiths. In Judaism, he talks to Daniel. He guides Daniel. In Christianity, we know him as going to Mary and saying, "Hey, Mary, you're pregnant." In Islam, he is with Muhammad, and Muhammad is in this trance, and he's saying things, and the things he says turns in the Quran, which is their religious canon. So that's very cool. And he tells his people that there's one God, and they don't really believe him. And he has to leave, and as he goes, and his story is more like an epic. He goes and gets like an army, and he comes back and to show them that he's right. And there's a little war, and he has to win the people over, to let them know there's only one God. It's very interesting. It's very epic like. So it spreads quite a bit. And here's a Quran. It's very beautiful. They don't really make a lot of art, or didn't at that time. And so the most beautiful thing they did was calligraphy. The Quran is spelled in 3 different ways, many different ways, but three's there. It means recitations, a reference to the Archangel Gabriel, Archangel Gabriel's instruction to Muhammad in 610 to recite in the name of Allah. Calligraphy means beautiful writings. Written word takes precedence over human form. It's very interesting because they believe that, and this is a very Renaissance thing too. Renaissance artists and these Muslim calligraphers believe that God is allowing you to write this beautiful way and to create this beauty, and you are also doing it as beautifully as you can for God. The tradition is that no human representation. If they did, they were competing with God. And now I can show you examples of many humans, but they do it for a different time at different times, and mostly for education. Also, Allah is transcendent. He's not seen as a form. Allah, remember, Muhammad is not God. Muhammad is not the God. It's aniconic without images. Calligraphy also assumes a sacramental character. It's sacred. This is one of my favorite pieces, and I never have the saying on there, and if I don't get it, I'm going to be angry. Cufic script is quite angular, with uprights forming almost right angles with a baseline. This plate has a cufic border. Cufic is the earliest form of Arabic writing, but there are many types. This is a page of the Quran with a surah, and they have little like chapters called surah. Some are very short, some are very long. You memorize these. This is found in the cave Al-Kahf, center ink and gold vellum. You see some more. I love this one. Very cool. And I have terrible, terrible handwriting. So this looks like a rug, a carpet, which is beautiful. Look at those. This is the world's largest Quran. And then I think I just saw a new small Quran, but I have this one, but I saw a smaller one. To achieve heaven, in Islam, God must be accepted as a supreme being. There is no God but the God, or Allah, and Muhammad is the last messenger of God. And you must complete 5 pillars of Islam: a confession of faith, the recitation of prayers 5 times a day facing Mecca, charitable contributions to the welfare of the Islamic community, fasting from dawn to sunset during the sacred month of Ramadan, the time period when Muhammad received his calling, and a pilgrimage to Mecca called the Hajj. I think it's the Hajj. And this is so interesting to me. Jihad is all aspects of the Muslim drive towards spiritual and religious perfection, including the militant defense of Islam and the spread of war. The lesser jihad is war. You don't go to war unless it's the absolute last possible thing you have to do. The greater jihad is the opposite of war. It's individual self-control, the struggle to contain personal anger, lust, and other forms of indulgence. The spread of Islam offered, and this is what was so important to people. People were miserable. People, I mean, times don't change a whole lot, regardless of how many thousands of years is in between there. People were miserable. They wanted help. They wanted a good life. They wanted to know what life was about. So it was a promise of a garden. That was a paradise. Well, why not? They live in a desert, so heaven must be a garden. Heaven after death, a system of social justice, take care of us. Guidelines for worship, universal ethic that emphasize equality among all members of the Islamic community, easy to understand rules of conduct, no dogma or liturgy, and no hierarchy of priests. So there's basically, and there are different types of Muslims, but the 2 big ones, especially in the Middle East, which most of my students find very interesting, are Sunni, which are 90%, and that's the tradition of a prophet. They believe that they are the Orthodox of Islam, and the religious ruler should be chosen by the people. The Shiites of Iraq and Iran, they believe they're the descendants of Muhammad through his cousin and son-in-law Ali, and they believe only his direct descendants should lead. And the guy didn't have any kids, so that makes it harder. Okay? So I think that gives you a nice background of both, and I hope it helps. So read the chapter. It tells you a lot of things they built. It's such a small book, but I hope that helps. You let me know, okay? Thank you.